Okay. All right. Spanner, how you doing?
Hello, how are you? You
Good.
good?
Good. So this is going to be our first time doing this live, which is kind of trippy and nerve-wracking a little bit, right? A little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, a little bit. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with the new channel graphics. It
Eh?
looks amazing. It
So
looks
cool, right?
amazing. Yeah,
Eh?
fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? We have like a little blurb, right?
yeah. We have a bit of an introduction to what we're going to cover today. Do you want to do the honors, or would you like me to do it?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so today we're going to be covering a broad range of things. We're going to have our meme competition results for a guild. Arclight Span is going to be talking about the Undead faction and the two leaders. Only two, which means they suck, right? There's only two of them. We outnumber you, I believe. No?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have a couple of community polls and, beta feedback discussion per usual, because right now they're still doing a very limited beta. Game shop bundles, discussion about that, and then information about like fellow content creators, stuff that we've seen very prominently in the discords, right?
Right.
Okay.
Um, what should we start with? Shall we start with the quick guild updates?
Yeah.
Uh, so our guild, Prisoners of War, which we mentioned last week, it keeps thriving. We had a bunch of exciting new members joining in. We had some roles attribution to some of our deserved people in the guild,
Yeah.
and it's I don't want to take too much of the stream promoting our guild, but
Shameless
so
plugs.
yeah, suffice to say, is growing every week, and we are extremely pleased with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Since you are the person that came up with this contest, would you like to talk a little bit about our meme contest? And it will be great if we had even a chance to actually see the winner on the screen once you mention it.
Right, yeah. Okay, so we had a meme contest within the guild. Basically an original content meme, not just a copy pasta of something that we've seen before. Um, so all of our guildies who participated were allowed to submit one. A lot of them submitted way more than one, like a lot more. But their favorite one they posted for judging, and we then took like the best three within the leadership and then had a vote. So they were messaging you privately, right, for their votes.
Yeah, that's correct. So we didn't want anybody to be influencing each other with the votes, so we did it privately to make it fair. And I
Right.
also asked them to vote for the meme and not the person
Right.
to ensure it wasn't a popularity contest.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, so the winner is going to be future Sneed main, which I think is hilarious for this meme
He's amazing.
because
He's
it's
amazing.
actually true. I'm pretty sure chickens would kill Grom. Like I'm like 90% sure they would, especially buff
That's right.
chickens. So
That's right.
Sneed
Uh,
main, we'll contact you after the stream here, and we'll get you sorted out with Arclight booster fundage for you. There were so many good ones though, and honestly, like it's a shame because my favorite ones weren't even the ones that were like officially submitted. They were like posted in
in the
like
other channel.
the memes channel.
That's right. It's fun. Just to let you know, there was a tough competition in between the top three memes. All of them got respectable amount of votes, and but this one stand out, and we had a good laugh when we saw this for the first time. And congratulations again,
Yeah,
Sneed, for being so creative with this.
yeah. So we'll message you after this, and we'll get you sorted out. And this contest this week will be just for the community in general, so not just relegated to guildies, but everyone that's watching this or on the Discord or whatever. And I'll post the details of that in writing as well. maybe tomorrow in a few days on the Discord once people have a chance to watch this. And then going off of that, we had to make a couple corrections, or I had to make a couple corrections because I screwed up last stream, which a lot of guildies were very quick to alert me on. So much appreciated.
Yeah.
So I said last time that it was Thanos and Jaina were the only ones that got spell slots, which is incorrect for Valor. They're the only ones that get 2 spell Valor slots. And there are heroes or leaders that don't get spell slots, like, at all. Like, Rend has access to 2 flying slots, but he doesn't have a spell Valor slot. He does have Elemental and Cycle, though. So basically, that means he won't ever be able to, like, boost Polymorph, Cheat Death, or Execute. But he could boost Chain Lightning, Living Bomb, and Blizzard. So, like, there's kind of, like, a synergy within a synergy, and, like, you know, there's restrictions that some leaders might have that others don't, you know. But for Thanos and Jaina, it makes sense because they're, like, kind of like the 2 main, like, caster leaders, right? Like, casting spells is kind of their jam, right? So it makes sense to that. So correction on my part for that. And then, do you want to talk about some of the useful kind of finds we found out, like, in the game, or like in terms of, like, keywords or stuff like that?
Sure. So just a couple of facts here. We don't want to be too extensive about it, but 2 things that we believe that not everyone probably knows yet about the game, and we thought we use is when you see the resistant info on a unit, it means they have 50% elemental damage reduction, and if you see armored, it means they have 50% physical damage reduction,
Right.
which is good to know when you are building your compositions.
Right.
Another thing, since Hogger, it appears that it will be one of the fan favorites at the start of the game.
Yeah.
I would like you to know that Hogger only stacks up to 3 times when you put it on the battlefield. On the 4th play, Hogger will be maxed.
Right.
So
yeah, so that was kind of a killjoy for a lot of people, thinking they could just stack over and over again. But we did confirm on the 4th Hogger play, he's maxed out. However, you know, if we want to get a little bit more spicy, you know, maybe do like an Ogre Magi. Maybe now he's got Berserk, right? So yeah, he's capped out. I believe, what was it? Like 105% increase total for Hogger, and then with Bloodlust, I think it's another 30 or 35%. I'm probably wrong on those numbers, but that's still very good, right?
I'm still not 100% sure if the 35% is exponential with the already existing 105%.
Right.
But one would assume that it's probably as a base Hogger figure instead. Otherwise, it could potentially become too OP. But I will be happy to have someone that actually has factual information to correct us about that.
Right.
Now, regarding last week, we had the privilege of listening to you talking about the Tyrion, Fordring, and the Alliance faction.
Right.
This week, I have the pleasure to talk about the best faction in the game, which is the Undead, and also a little bit about their leaders, and likely a brief mention to the units of the Undead faction as well.
Right.
I'll probably speak for a while. Light, please feel free to ask me anything at any point.
Okay.
I don't want
to talk
this
smack.
and talk smack about the best faction in the game to make you feel better.
That's okay. I'll let it slide. That's fair.
So, but what are the undead? I'll start to speak about their appearance of the units in general.
Right.
The undead, which are also called the Forsaken, they look like dead people, obviously. Their skin is usually gray and rotting, showing bones and flesh in places. Muscles are withered, making them look scrawny. Movements kind of slow but jagged. It's basically the kind of undeads you see in movies and other and other media. Um, necromantic magic, it's what keep them somewhat preserved, but natural decay still occurs over time, just at a slower pace.
Right, we see that with like the Forsaken in World of Warcraft and whatnot.
Correct. Some of the undead races that you usually see will be dead humans or ghostly Valkyr, banshees, and abominations. This sort of races. Where do you find the undead in game? The undead, if you, let's say World of Warcraft, if you create a new undead character, level 1, you will start in an area called Tirisfal Glades, which is in the Eastern Kingdom continent in the game. The undead home city is called Undercity. It's a circular-shaped city with a network of catacombs, crypts, rivers of poisonous sludge, and toxic fumes.
It's a great place. It's a great place for vacation.
Yeah, fantastic. It's unbearable for the living, and this is the way the Forsaken like it.
Yeah. That's a mood.
The undeads have been in the world of Azeroth since the War of the Ancients. When the Lich King grasped over the Scourge lost momentum, after the Third War, a contingent of undeads broke free, and they call themselves the Forsaken, and this is what we have in game. The undead, I don't want to have this too convoluted, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, the lore is pretty deep. Like the smallest thing, like you could probably find like a 3-page like wiki on like just like quill boards and their like breeding habits or something. I don't know. It's the lore is just huge.
Exactly, but one thing we need to mention, even though it's so extensive, the lore is Sylvanas Windrunner. Right. So the historical leader of the Forsaken, Sylvanas Windrunner, also called the Banshee Queen. She's one of the most beloved and hated characters in the Warcraft simultaneously.
Yeah.
Her lore, she's also features in some of the best cinematics ever made in by Blizzard. Her lore and importance is ridiculous. She's like centerpiece in so much of Warcraft. I strongly suggest if you are coming to play Arclight Rumble and don't have an extensive background on the lore of the game, I suggest that you Google Sylvanas Windrunner, and you will follow her incredible journey since the time she was a Ranger General up to today.
Yeah, we see that in Warcraft 3, right? That's kind of where it begins when Arthas basically murders her, and then now she's still involved, and she's like the front runner of the last couple expansions, and it's controversially so, right? Some people love her, some people, you know, time to move on from the Sylvanas thing, right? So you either love her or you hate her. I don't feel like there's any in between with Sylvanas.
Yeah, she's what people call here in Britain the Marmite. Either you love it or hate it. I think you guys call it Vegemite or something like that.
I've heard of that. Yeah, it looks gross, but I don't know. Aussies swear by it. I had an Aussie buddy who would like order it special from Australia all the way to Canada. So,
right. Light, what do you know about the undead leaders as a starting point to what we're going to discuss next?
The problem with undead leaders is that a lot of them die, like, after reaching notoriety, I feel like. Yeah, Sylvanas, you know, and there's just undead as a faction. In Warcraft 3, they're my favorite faction, I will say. So I am kind of partially Team Undead, but for the most part, I'm # Team Alliance, right? So
I knew you were going to confess this at some point.
Yeah. Abominations are cool, man. Okay, like Stitches in Darkshire. I don't know how many times I got killed by that guy.
Oh my god, he was like level 30 or 40 elite, something crazy like that. I don't remember.
When you're there, though, he's a skull.
Patrolling the road.
Yeah.
Patrolling the road and killing all the noobs like myself when I start to play the game. Right, so in the Arclight Rumble, the two leaders selected to represent the Undead faction initially are Blood Mage Falnus and Baron Riven there.
Right.
Baron, let's start with Blood Mage Falnus.
Okay.
Is an elite skeleton mini boss found in the graveyard of the Scarlet Monastery instance.
Yup.
Which is a World of Warcraft dungeon, roughly around level 30, something
30,
like that.
36, yeah.
Something like that. He is believed to have been a blood elf mage before becoming an undead.
Right.
He has a pretty recognizable quote for people that farm that instance, which is when he reaches 50% HP, he says, "No rest for the angry dead." So probably.
Wow, did you do the official voice for that? It sounded like so like spot on. Wow, I got shivers. It's like I'm really there. Am I in Scarlet Monastery right now?
I'm fed up of. I keep refusing offers from Blizzard to do voiceovers, but you know it's hard. So Falnus' leader ability in Arclight Rumble is called Dark Ritual.
Right.
Which makes Falnus gain 1 level for each spell that you play until death.
Yeah,
so this means
it's gross.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
It means he needs to be in the battlefield for this to happen.
Right. Yeah, he's not like in your hand, right? And then you're playing spells and he's leveling up in your hand. He's got to be on the field or on the board for him to level up. Yeah.
So, unlike Hogger, which we mentioned earlier, you will lose this buff upon death. Right. So you can stack more than 3 times.
Right.
But once you die, you start from level 1 again, which means that you need to be more conscious in terms of setting up your hand when you're gonna put him on the field to make sure there's a bit of tanking and protection involved.
Right.
So he survives long enough. Yeah.
Yeah, like the ideal setup to me is maybe you're holding Falnus and then you're just kind of burning, you're rotating, maybe you've got like a bunch of cheap cycle units, whatever, so you're cycling them until you get like maybe all the spells that you can, including Arcane Blast, right? Because that's ridiculous. So for those who don't know, Arcane Blast, when you use it and Falnus is on the board, this was seen in a stream, I believe, one of our guildies said, where you have Falnus, Arcane Blast. When you tap every time with Arcane Blast, it like you spend a gold and you just keep blasting basically. I think the damage goes up exponentially as well every time you blast. But that apparently levels them up. Like every time you tap, you're leveling them up, right? So you might want to have like Arcane Blast and then whatever, a couple other spells. So when you put them down, you're like just level 6 or level 7, level 8 right off the bat, right?
It's crazy. It's insane. Yeah. The potential is insane.
Right.
The two talents currently known, so all the units will have 3 talents at the moment. I'm aware that most of them, if not all, are showing 2 talents currently.
Yeah.
There might be 1 or 2 that show 3, but I have seen only 2 at the moment.
Yeah, same.
The first one is called Dark Ritual, which is the same name as the passive leader ability. So I don't know if this needs update. It looks like it might need to be updated, the name of the talent.
Right.
The talent makes it so that playing a spell increases attack speed by 30% for 5 seconds. This adds another level of complexity and increases the ceiling of playing this leader, because not only you want to use a lot of spells, but you want to time them if you have this talent to keep the buff active as long as possible.
Right.
The attack speed buff. The other known talent is called Death Coil, which makes Falnus periodically stand at the nearest target and steal health from them until we know the duration of the stun and the percentage of health leached by the talent. Is hard to judge which talent is the superior at this point.
Right.
Falnus is a relatively squishy leader and uses ranged AoE damage.
Yeah, so that's going to be the increased range speed, or like the faster range speed. It's going to be gross if he's behind like a really sturdy tank.
Right.
Because if you can imagine just him like whipping out shots now like 30% quicker, and it's an AoE too, right? It's not just like the headhunter where
AoE.
it's just this one spear kind of thing.
I
That's
believe it's also classified as elemental damage, by the way.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, it's kind of disgusting, right? But it's like it depends on what your build is, right? You might have a build that's more geared towards him going like attacking faster, swinging faster from like behind the tank, or you might want to, make him just kind of part of like your CC squad and he's stunning people. But again, the duration of that stun and whatever is going to make a big difference, right? So
Right. There's so many options. It's I can't wait to play the game. I'm just like I'm one of the thousands of people that are just waiting and waiting to have an opportunity to play. But
I couldn't
hope
tell at all. It's weird. That's shocking to me.
it's it's you want to put all these ideas into reality, and it's just no. But but I understand they are trying to polish the game. But they don't want to give people a broken game, and that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Um, right. So just I I even skipped this. Hold on. Right. Thank you. Back at it. Before I move to Baron Riven, there, just a quick mention to the units, the supporting units actually in the Undead faction.
Right.
Once again, to people that are just getting to know the game, you can mix and match units from every faction. You do not have to play only undead units with undead leaders. The undead units in Arclight Rumble include skeletons, skeleton parties, plague farmers, ghouls, meat wagons, banshees, gargoyles,
Right.
necromancers, and abominations, which, by the way, are great tanks. They have a huge health pool.
Oh yeah. They're so cool. It looks so cool. That's like to me
That's
the
right.
iconic undead unit is abominations and like meat wagons. And
That's right.
necromancers too, but abominations stick out as the one. And I know skeleton party has been like a very talked about topic, even in their chat right now. Nova is my spirit animal talking about skeleton party or skeleton crew. But skeleton party, people want to know like with the talents, upgrade talents, right? Like what happens with that? I don't think we've seen it yet in a stream where like someone's upgraded skeleton party to represent like that one talent where it's like more skeletons or different types of skeletons. So
Can't wait to see. Maybe
yeah,
beefier ones or
like a
something
rogue
like
or
that.
something, like a little shanky rogue or who knows.
It's gonna be ridiculous. And not only the undead have the coolest units, as you could see with my description. We also have a cheat death spell, which you can also use with other leaders, but is ridiculously strong, especially with the talents.
Yeah.
So have a good look at this spell because you might consider to add it to your deck when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Regarding the Baron, and I'm going to try to keep it short because I don't want to be talking for 15 minutes straight. He's Baron Rivender. He's a powerful Death Knight in the service of the Lich King.
Mm-hmm.
Originally ruling over the city of Stratholme for the Scourge. He
Yeah.
led the Horsemen of Naxxramas in place of High Lord Morgraine. He is probably my favorite leader until
Yeah.
Sylvanas eventually gets released one day, hopefully.
Yeah.
Rivender's leader ability is called Army of the Dead, which makes Rivender periodically summon skeletons at buildings you control,
So cool.
even when Rivender is not in the battlefield.
That's the coolest part about it. It's like his ability is still going when he's not even on the board, right? So
That's right.
that's interesting to me. The value for that is pretty good, especially
Of course.
if he's talented up, right? So and then
Well, let's talk a little bit about the talents then.
okay.
The two non-talents are called Death Pact,
Mhm.
which periodically sacrifices a nearby skeleton to heal Rivender. This synergizes well with some of the available undead units, such as obviously the skeletons, skeleton party, and even surprisingly the meat wagon, because the meat wagon has a talent called Meat and Bones,
Yeah.
which also spawns extra skeletons.
Yeah.
The second talent is called Skeletal Frenzy, where nearby allied skeletons gain bloodlust. By the way, there's something I even had to research myself recently. I wasn't 100% sure what is bloodlust in the our game of
Right.
Arclight Rumble, because it's a completely different thing in World of Warcraft. It's not a completely thing. It's in terms of figures.
The numbers,
it's a different
the
thing.
numbers are different. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but so basically, Bloodlust is a buff that will give units nearby Falnus. Bloodlust, by the way, features in other factions and units.
Right.
It gives an extra 35% attack speed and movement speed.
Yeah, that's
The interpretation of nearby is kind of subjective.
yeah, it's
But
a hazy gray area.
But I spoke with our guildie Genoxel. I hope we are not murdering your name.
We probably are, yeah.
We probably are.
Yeah.
But Gino said that it feels to him is like a medium range. It affects enough units, but not too far to become ridiculously OP.
That could be something too they could maybe add in the future. Maybe if you like hold your finger on like Riven, maybe you can see like a slight green, like a faded kind of aura around where that's gonna affect, right? Or maybe as you're dragging him out on the board, maybe there's like a circle area of effect around him that shows you kind of like the area where the bloodlust is gonna occur, right?
Yeah.
But some sort of visual cue would be nice.
Yeah, I think it's kind of essential for people to know, because let's say you have a tank statically fighting someone else, and you're gonna put Falnos behind the tank casting AoE.
Right.
You want to know where to position him to be far away from the opponents to survive the longest. But at the same time, you want to make sure that he's affecting other party units with the Bloodlust buff.
Right.
So apologies if I took too long, but this is my favorite faction, and I had to discuss it.
You're just fanboying over Undead, eh?
I even added Undead to my name on Discord. So
there you go.
Well, should we move on to the polls that we have?
Yes.
Right.
Interesting.
I'll let you talk for now.
Okay. So we did some polls in the community, or I should say, Double Agent did some polls. Did you did the content poll, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And Double did the leader poll. Okay.
That's right.
So we did a poll of not just the guild, but on the Discord and then on Reddit, to see what leaders people were looking forward to the most. And surprisingly, Baron Riven number 1. I don't know.
Well, you say surprising. For me, it was just like my question was if Riven was going to win, is by how many votes he was going to win.
Right.
But I was shocked to see some kind of minor leader contesting for the first place. I think it's called Tyrion or something like that.
Oh, right.
Very, very.
Look, me and you. I know those last 4 votes were you just making new accounts and clicking Baron Riven so don't even get started with me. I actually think that Chalga is going to be really good. I think people are kind of downplaying her like crazy CC ability, and then the fact that one of her talents can give her Unbound, like a burrowing network thing it's called, or burrowing tunnels, where she just becomes Unbound.
I don't know the name, but yeah. I don't know the name, so yeah.
I think Chalga is going to be one of those things that surprises people. Maybe she's good only in PvE, and maybe she's only good in PvP, but I think that AoE, like the Vines ability, the Thorns, and your Grasping Roots is going to be pretty gross. But we'll see. A lot of people aren't picking her that I've seen in the streams, so it's hard to judge. It seems like this poll's pretty consistent with what I've seen being played, like Riven, Tyrion, Hellscream, Hogger, like those. I feel like those are like the four I've consistently seen, and Falnus too.
Yes.
But yeah, like I don't think I've seen Sneed play yet. I haven't seen Charlga play yet, like on a stream. Um, but yeah, like these numbers seem accurate to me just based on what I've seen and people's streams and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we are lucky to have someone very passionate about Sneed in the guild. So I'm sure that
He won the meme contest, so there you go.
yeah, he won the meme contest. That's right. So this person that voted for Chalga either is a genius or is a lunatic. We will we will
There's no
see
in
over
between.
time.
There's no
Or
just
some,
I'm kind of curious about it. It's just no, you're insane.
yeah.
Get out of here.
So obviously, as you can see, Baron, Riven there, Tyrion, and also obviously Falnus, Hogger, and Gromash leading right after them,
Yeah,
and
which is consistent with what I've seen.
it's consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, the poll was titled "Which leader do you like the most?" So one would like to think that is a mix of taste for the character itself
Yeah, like
and
aesthetics and yeah.
how OP or enjoyable mechanics the leader has in the game.
Right.
Um Lead us to the types of content pool, if you wouldn't
Right.
mind, as well.
Right. So we also did a secondary poll here.
So this pool that Light is currently retrieving the results. It's called "Which content areas of the game do you believe would interest you the most?" And we ask people to choose only two answers, but I could see that some of them cheated and used
Yeah.
more because the numbers didn't match.
Right. Yeah. People are just
So
like all of them. Submit. Done.
right. So what's your view on this? Like PvE co-op, such as raids, one would assume that raids are co-op.
Right.
What's your view on Are you surprised with this kind of with the results from the poll? Is there
No.
anything?
I'm
No.
not. Yeah, everything is pretty much spot on to what I thought. Yeah, PvE co-op like raids. I think a lot of that too is we don't really know what's gonna happen with raids yet. Like we don't have any information. We saw people play against Onyxia and we found out that that was like a solo level. I had assumed that Onyxia was gonna be like the first real raid. So I'm not gonna say I was disheartened to see that it was like just like another level. Obviously it's a really hard level because people were just dying immediately.
Yes.
But yeah, I was surprised on that. But if Onyxia isn't a raid, then I'm interested to see like what is a raid, because to me that looked like a really tough fight. But and I'm hoping the
Yeah.
rewards match the difficulty, right? Because that it seemed brutal, like the streams that I was watching with Onyxia, and I'm like, ugh, you're gonna need
Yeah,
to
so
grind a little bit more to tough that out.
so obviously one of those rewards will be the breath,
Yeah, that
which
deep
is
breath.
the deep breath spell.
Yeah, which like an elemental
Uh,
AOE spell, right? It was pretty gross. Like it did like 450 something damage base, I want to say.
Yeah, actually, Fixian, he did a video recently doing like what he predicts is going to be the mechanics of the fight, for people that actually can last long enough.
Right.
So it's worth to see. So obviously the standouts here, PvE co-op such as raids, as we discussed, and also PvE solo,
Mm-hmm.
1v1s. I'm actually surprised that people prefer 1v1s than 2v2s.
Or even guild versus guild, if that's going to be an option down the road, because guild versus guild is really fun, right? Like Clash of Clans type stuff. I really enjoyed that when I was playing that game.
I did some 2v2s with colors on another game,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun, and I think it would translate to war as well.
Yeah.
Something I was happy to see as well was some votes in achievements, because I
Yeah.
love achievements.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft
Yeah.
and cosmetics and collections got some votes. I was thinking maybe 1 or 2 people will vote there, but we had a couple more votes.
Yeah, some people really go nuts for that stuff, and I know for me personally, and I said it in our first podcast episode was, if they had any sort of themed, here's a bundle. It's like, Night Elf themed or Stormwind themed or Alliance themed or whatever. Like, it turns your towers into special aesthetic, your chests, your gold mines, or maybe it changes your kobold into a peon or something like that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that, yeah, like, I would 100% be looking at buying. Just because it's like, whatever. If it's reasonably priced, obviously, but...
I'm just watching some notifications of Double Agent telling Sneed that he won the contest. Nice to see. By the way, hello Double Agent, one of the most active friendliest people in our. Thank you.
He won top contributor, right? And then that was before he got Taskmaster or Elder role.
Yeah, he's amazing. It's great to have him in the guild. Like many others, we are so chuffed with the people we have in the guild.
Yeah, it's been great.
So I was going to talk about something next, but I'm going to bypass it for now, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Since you mentioned bundles a second ago, we were lucky to have access to some images. I don't know if you can put them on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding available bundles. Bear in mind this is Australian dollars prices that are being displayed. Light, what's your view on the bundles that are being shown to us currently? What in terms of value, in terms of diversity? Give us a take on this.
So for the tomes, I've been trying to see, like, going back on Discord and seeing. I know people have been talking about the tomes, and I'm gonna kind of talk about a post that Tally did as well here, explaining XP tomes. So XP tomes, and I don't know if this applies to Epic XP tomes. I'm not sure what the difference is, honestly. Like, maybe Epic makes you pick more, or like, less. So what Tally had said was an XP tome is 5 boosts to 5 mini/leaders. So to give you an example, you open your tome, and 2 things from your collection. It's not like random stuff you don't own. It's stuff in your collection will pop up. It could be like Grom, Hellscream, and then Chain Lightning. And it'll ask you to pick which one. And then you pick which one to give the EXP to. And then it goes to the next one, the next 2. So you do that 5 times. I'm not sure if that's the Epic XP tome, or if that's just like the normal XP tome. Maybe someone in chat can tune in if they know. But as far as I know, I mean, it's pretty good. One of these bundles is $10.99 Australian, so American, that's what, like, I want to say $5 or $6 or $4.99 maybe.
I believe it's $4.99.
Right.
And the Lordaeron, I honestly don't know, but it's probably around $7 US.
Right.
And the ones with, like, for example, the Undead choice one, which shows at $2.99 Australian, it will be $1.99 US.
Right, so that one I like, especially because it gives you a choice. But if I'm not playing Undead or none of those units interest me, then I don't care. I'm just gonna... It's gonna cycle out in almost 2 days, right? So it is what it is. I don't, For you, that would be awesome for you, because you could pick one of the 3 units. Maybe you've got one of them in your army. Maybe you got, like, 3 of them in your army. Then you have to make a decision what you want to do, right? You want your tank to be better? You want your artillery to be better? Or do you want your gargoyle to be better, right? So...
Sure, but even if it was from a faction that I don't really intend to play much, I would probably still consider buying it just to have diversity, because you might get stuck in some maps and it might help you to pass that bottleneck. But then it depends on each person.
You have to think now too. So if we take what I said about the XP tomes, where it gives you 2 units 5 times, do you really want to buy units that you're not maybe ever going to use except for maybe once? And then now you've got that option maybe popping up as part of your XP tome usage, right? So say like, I'm not really sure about the game, or I'm brand new, I don't know anything about it. I load up the game. Okay, yeah, Murlocs. I like Murlocs. Cool, I play World of Warcraft. They're cute. Cool. Yoink, I'll buy that. Harpies, yep. Whatever. Now, a month later, I don't use those units, but I go to use XP tome, and what pops up? Murlocs and Harpies, but I don't.
Right.
Right. So now you're.
This
So
adds a new level of complexity to the decisions you make in
yeah,
the game shop.
and that's something we've already seen in the shop, right? Where like columns are rotating out, and they're you buy one thing and it's like, and it's the rest of the stuff's gone, or it rotates out, right? So their strategy even buying this stuff, right? It's like, yeah, it's nice to have an abomination or whatever, or get XP for an abomination, but like, do you really want that showing up when you're popping XP tomes to try and get like the stuff you use on a daily basis leveled up instead, right? So there's some strategy there. I think that people have to like big brain it and kind of figure out what they want to do, right?
So you really need to evaluate the pros and cons of
right.
Every purchase. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's a interesting way to look at it. I haven't considered all of it, to be honest.
I don't think that there's been like a mobile game like this where it does do that. Like the shop in itself is almost like a strategy based game, right? So it's not like you're gonna be buying a bunch of stuff and then that's it. Everything's great now. Now you're affecting the fact that when you get EXP tomes, that you could possibly be screwing yourself because you just bought every single unit, and that kind of backpacks on what I want to talk about like people buying too many units or leaders too fast, and then now they're stuck. They have to grind gold. I think the latest update or the balance patch kind of fixed that. I know Solana's posted an update where quests will now give a minimum of this and a maximum of that.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
So that might make it grinding easier, but I think that was part because of the feedback where they were getting where, oh, I didn't really know what I was doing and I bought, talents, or I bought some units I didn't really like, and now I don't have any gold to like, buy the stuff I really do want, and it takes a while to get gold. But now, you're not getting just 40 gold for doing a level. It's like now you're getting like at least this much, like 100, and you're capping out at this much, right? And I expect that'll be kind of tweaked as they go along. But they're obviously listening to feedback because they just changed it, right? So that's good.
Okay, let us know. Obviously, just a reminder, our stream will be available on demand over here on Twitch, but we are also available on YouTube, which is a great platform for you guys to come and comment on your opinions about any of the subjects we discussed, including the bundles. It will be nice to know what is your opinion about it,
right?
And even give us some tips, because we are more than happy to learn from everyone else in beta and just everyone in the community.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, especially we got 2 active Discords, right? We got ours, and then we have the official, unofficial, whatever one. And now that more people have access to beta, or more people are joining the Discord, it's like, oh, here's a bunch of stuff. Here's the stream information here, blah, and then, oh my god, it's over here now. I posted all this stuff. Here's Anixia, and you're like, wait, what? Anixia? Like, huh?
That's right. Yes, we spent hours on Discord, and we cannot keep up with everything.
I know, like it's almost like a second job, like keeping up with all this stuff, right? So everyone who's posting photos and videos of their streams and like PvP matches and stuff like that, kudos to you guys, because it kind of keeps it like in an area for us to look in the media channels and stuff like that. But it's tough. Like there's so much stuff being shared right now, and it's kind of like the reins loosen on access. I'm assuming more people are getting invites in Australia and whatever than certain social media people like Tally and stuff like that, and Mr. GM is playing too. A lot more of the stuff will be kind of like thrown out there.
Yeah, one thing that is still kind of missing is like a summary of everything that's going on in one resource.
Right.
Or we are going to, in our stream podcast, we are going to try to be one of these sources where you guys can come to and have like a selection of the important things to keep up with, explain in a way that everybody will be able to understand, even if you literally just join the community.
Right.
And we will try to be as helpful as possible to save you time in your research, and we will always be available to interact with you guys and answer any questions.
Right. Just to piggyback off what I was talking about there, the patch notes. I'll just quickly read the patch notes just for people in the chat. So Solana's posted this on the 20th, so a couple days ago. This is the new patch. So all daily quest rewards are now either 100 or 200 coins, and it used to range from 60 to 200. So now, like, at least you're getting 100, right? Even. It fixed a bug that gave players less passive income than expected on quests for Jinrock, which I know is a really hard level for a lot of people. I keep seeing them getting like stuck on there, like Muckluck, King Muckluck. And the end of the game EXP now increases with player levels sooner to let lower levels ramp up quicker. And then they fixed various bugs and crashes, obviously, as you'd expect.
Yeah. So they are actively listening and adjusting, and
right.
It's good to see. It's good to see.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the overload of people's media feedback, hard to keep up. But there is one particular guy that I pretty much read all of his posts. His name is Rook. He is quite advanced in terms of progress in the beta.
Right.
He provides a lot of feedback in Discord. One of the posts that stand out, it was actually Sele, one of the moderators. He focused on this post as well. It was regarding the PvP experience in the game by Rook.
Yeah, I saw that post. Yeah,
saw that post. Well, what's your opinion on that? What was discussed by him?
The one thing that stands out to me is the kind of like the matchmaking for PvP, right? Like he mentions that he stomped a bunch of people pretty easily to a point where like the one guy that he already played had just, as soon as they like started the game, he didn't even play anything. I think he just left the game, right? So
yeah, that's right.
I don't know if there's like a matchmaking system in place already, or if that's something that they're kind of like tweaking. I'm assuming they're going to be tweaking it because it's matchmaking is hard, right? It depends what they're using, the MMR system or whatever they're using. But
yeah, so upon doing some research, we found out that the war team agrees that PvP needs matchmaking, and they are actively working on it.
Right.
I believe they think that getting connectivity and server stability is the place to start.
Right.
And this is one of the reasons that we have such a small audience in the beta. But they are aware that even during these early stages of beta, it is important to have some more realistic PvP experience, and it transpires that they will take action about it. Actually, Rook is a really nice guy because he was letting some weaker players win just so they didn't get frustrated with the game. Yeah.
That's my excuse too. When I start losing, I'm just gonna say, man, I'm a nice guy. You win, that'll be my excuse for winning.
Yeah, exactly.
In Rook's case, it was actually true, but in my case, I'm just gonna use it as an excuse. Oh yeah, I let them win. See.
Yeah. Oh, just so you guys know, one day we're going to have a live PvP session between Light and me, so we can. We can settle once and for all which one is the best faction in the game.
Hey, if this was in game like in WoW, man, I would just use like turn undead on you and I'd like exercise.
Well, I kind of suck at WoW PvP, so I'll just steer away from this conversation. This gang is more my speed. Arclight Rumble. Light, there was a bit more of feedback by Rook, but to be honest, we cannot read the minds of the devs, so we don't want to go too much into it. Hopefully, we will have some more feedback from them. Right. We are approaching the end of our stream today. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
Yes. I would like to discuss community contests. So this contest is going to be open for everyone in the community. Everyone.
So we can do that. So the community contest for this week, when I say week, is with the hopes that we will be able to stream again next Sunday. If not, we will accept entries for a longer period of time. This will be an art submission. It can be anything from drawings, static drawings, GIFs. Please try to avoid memes because we already have this week. Yeah. Something more to do with, like, let's say, a drawing of a leader or a unit or
Yeah, like a
to
comic. You could do it in MS Paint. I
commit.
don't care. You could
That's right.
you could draw it on a napkin and then take a picture of the napkin and submit it. You know, as long as it's original content and based on Arclight Rumblings. That's all we care about.
To be honest, if we will probably even accept audio submissions if you can compose something to do with the game.
Right.
So some of us might not be able to draw at all for whatever reasons and whatever limitations, and we will take that into consideration as well.
Right.
We are still waiting for confirmation, but we are happy to announce that you might end up having a very special guest being the judge on the winner of this contest.
Right. Fingers crossed. No promises.
Fingers,
That's why we're not announcing who it is yet, but
fingers crossed.
if they accept, then yeah.
Let's just say that you want to be submitting
Right.
an entry. We will ask permission on the War official Discord channel to post some information there, since a community contest, and we will do our best for this information to reach you within the next 48 hours. As soon as possible, it will be there.
Right.
Light. One thing we notice as well is, apart from our stream, there's other content creators which are starting to contribute a lot to the community.
Yeah, big time.
Would you like to mention some of the people, some of the standouts at the moment?
Yeah, so there's a few here. Obviously, Genocell. I'm gonna butcher your name, man. I'm so sorry. He's a good dude. He's been streaming it. Like, I think he's probably like the most prevalent, like non-big streamer. Like, he's not Tally or Mr. GM, but he just got affiliate status too. So congrats, man, for that. That's awesome. Yep. And you can find him on Twitch at twitch.tv Genocell. I'll spell it out. Twitch.tv GENOXELL. And then also we've got the Arclight Rumble Super Base. If you guys are in Discord, you probably have already seen it. It's like a huge database. Arclightbase.com, and then Arclight Heroes as well, arclightheroes.com, by our very own guild member Fixion. So amazing resources. I recommend go check them out. Just like amazing.
It's really good. So Gene, I think this very good choices, Light, and I think the very good contributors to the community. Gino is a very funny and humble guy.
Yeah.
It's nice to see his streams because he's so down to earth. He doesn't try to pretend he's someone else. It's just him.
Yeah.
And I like to see that. Arclight Base, it's really worth a check because you will find lots of information about the units in game, even some of the missions. I know they will expand on it. They are very hardworking couple of guys behind it, and they will be adding lots of new features to the guild, to the website. The reason I mentioned guild is that they are also approaching people. They even ask our opinion of our guild prisoners of war on opinion about features to develop in the website.
Right.
And Arclight Heroes, I hope Fixion does really well. He has lots of experience. He just released, if you go to YouTube, he just released a video about Onyxia raid with the information available to him at the moment, and I think he's gonna be a very good resource for the community, and his website looks fantastic, and easy to. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing great.
Oh, I guess I forgot to mention the prize for the contest was a Arclight booster, or like fundage for an Arclight booster. But yeah, so you know, if money's tight, or you know, it's just you're not looking to spend money, it could be a good chance for you to get an Arclight booster, right? It's a one-time purchase, so once you get it, you get it. So you know, put some effort into the art submissions, and you know, you could be set for the length of the game, right? So something to keep in mind.
Thanks for remembering to mention the price. By the way, we won't be doing this sort of monetary prizes continuously. We will have other ideas as well.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people are saying, you know, and especially we have a few guildies that have mentioned, you know, that, you know, just the money is tight for them, they can't afford it, or you know, they have other stuff they
Yeah,
want to
that was
spend money on, which is totally like understandable, like especially today's day and age. So just it's just our way of kind of giving back, and hopefully those people, you know, can have a chance to win an Arclight booster, right? Just so that they're set, they don't have to worry about it. So we'll probably do a few more in the future, but probably a little bit more spread out. Sometimes you might even do two at once, depending. So
yeah. Right. So the game is still in development. It's still at a relatively early stage.
right,
Um, before our goodbyes, I think I'd just like to mention, judge the game for what you see, not what you fear it might become, because
right,
there's always people trying to bring negativity to the game, even with situations like we spoke about the art style and pay to win and all this. Just be your own judge of the game. I know for one, I'm ecstatic with what I'm seeing,
hmm
uh, and that's what I believe about it. So, Light, would you like to end this stream for us with a couple of acknowledgements and thank yous?
yeah. Thanks to everyone who's tuning right now, and thanks for all the comments, and thanks Trixie for the sub. Appreciate it.
Trixie just mentioned in chat that he cannot draw, so he's gonna be a problem
Yeah.
with the
Hey,
contest.
just do a stick figure with like, you know, the hair and be like, it's
Yeah.
Sylvanas, right?
Yeah.
And then just do like a comic, you know, it's Sylvanas. She's got the hair, maybe like a little triangle cape, like a Dorito cape behind her, you know, you're set. You're good. But yeah,
Sorry to
no,
derail you. Sorry to
yeah,
derail you.
yeah,
Carry on, Light.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, just thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you get your art submissions in. You can either submit them to Spanner or myself in
Yeah.
messages on Discord. Um, and yeah, then we'll wait a bit. We'll see if our kind of guest judge is down for kind of picking the winner or not. If not, then we'll figure out something where, you know, we do like a vote amongst ourselves and which one we enjoyed more and stuff like that. But put some effort into it because it's an Arclight booster, right? So again, one-time thing. So yeah, no,
So
thanks to
worth it.
everyone and the community for sharing like their photos and their streams, and you know, because in the end of the day, it's content for us and it's stuff for us to talk about too, right? So
Right.
and the devs are doing great. They're still active. Obviously like fixing bugs. I see them answering people all the time in the bug report thread and Discord and all that stuff too. So
Right.
yeah, everything's going good. I obviously hope that we get access soon, but you know, you can only yell at a wall for so long, right? So I'll just keep rubbing the genie lamp.
It makes it easier to create content in the streams, but you know, it just means harder work. I mean, will hopefully it will happen to all of us at some stage.
Yeah.
And if you allow me, just honestly to say thank you to Light here, because the amount of work it puts on the stream is unbelievable, and really my personal thank you to you, mate. It's great to be here with you, mate.
You're making me blush. Shucks.
Now, so thank you everyone, and really appreciate your time coming here. Please provide us feedback, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. Give us a follow on Twitch, because it will help us to reach more people.
Mhm.
And we thank you all in the community, and we should see you probably next Sunday, but we'll keep you informed.
Right. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.